Hey y'all, I realized that I have just been hopping on here and I don't really give an introduction or, I just come, I log on and I click record. Um, I sat back and I asked God, I said, Lord, I feel like I'm not doing this correctly, you know. And I said, I kind of, I'm not new, I'm new to YouTube as a contributor, providing content, um, and things of that nature. But I'm not new to YouTube as a source of inspiration, a source of following certain channels and what have you. And so I had a conversation with God, and I said, Lord, I see other people, they have a whole spiel, like some people will say, um, hey everybody, welcome in, or you know, whatever their, of course I can't think specifically of someone's actual greeting, but I was feeling weird because I was really following what God had me do. Like I would, you know, be thinking about, okay, I need to upload something or whatever. And then I'll be trying to think and trying to figure out what the topic is. And then God will just drop it on me in my spirit. Boom. God speaks to me. The best way I can explain how God communicates with me is so fast. It's like a lightning, like a lightning strike, a lightning bolt, and it's like I'll get the strike or the boom, and immediately after that feeling, I'll have like a whole sentence or a complete statement. Um, so I don't necessarily hear God audibly. Um, I have like at in certain points in my life I have, but on a normal basis, it's like and I hate to have to use this analogy, but the best way I can explain it is if you all are familiar with um, the show That's So Raven. Okay, we know Raven Simone, that was her show on Disney, and she was, I don't remember the terminology of what she was, but we know it wasn't, it was worldly, maybe just psychic or whatever. But I remember my nephew was a big fan of that show, so I would have to watch it with him. And I remember when Raven would have a vision or something, she would almost go into this paralyzation. She would freeze and like she would stop, and the camera would like zoom in to her like eyeball, and it was like that's to acknowledge that she was seeing something. But it was like she would tap out for like a couple seconds, and then she'd come back and she'd have a whole vision or whatever. So I'm giving you a visual, worldly example to paint a picture of how God does communicate with me. It's almost like that. It's like zzz, and then I'll pause for a second, and then after I'm like out of the pause, I'll hear, okay, I want you to talk about blah blah blah, or even in my personal life, it's gonna be quick, or stuff like that. But that's how He communicates with me. So my point is, I would be trying to sit and think of a topic and like, okay, what should I talk about? And then God would just interrupt all that, and boom, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like my last video was about time, and time as a seed and fertile ground. And then the one before that was I can't even remember The one before that, I was talking about finding yourself, um, the lost and found. And so I was really, really feeling weird because if you've had a chance to listen to my other videos, I go right in. And so when I asked God, I said that should I be introducing, should I be making an intro, should I be prepping, and I said, everybody else do it this way. And before I can even finish it, God hit me with the zzz. You ain't like everybody else. And I was like, oh, you're absolutely right. I'm not. I've always been, a very, very individual. Like, I don't run behind the crowd. I don't follow the trend and stuff like that. But even with him confirming that, in my mind, because I'm a writer, and a lot of what I talk about and what I probably will talk about in the postings that I'll be doing, more than likely, they're gonna be based on something that I've written out. And before God even quickened me with that understanding, I said to myself, when I open a book, nobody introduced themselves to me. They just start the story. And I said, wow. And I want to believe God may have been bringing that into my understanding also. That wasn't just all me. But as soon as I thought about that, or I heard that, it made sense to me, because I am what I refer to as a writer. At some point in life, I do plan to be an author. I'm working on things. And I have a high desire to do fiction writing, as well as some nonfiction. But my joke, or my running explanation of myself, I tell people that I am from the imagination, because I've always been the girl with the big imagination. Like, I could, that was just my thing. So I still wanted to be polite and say, hey, please don't take offense if you decide that I'm your style of tribe life, and you decide that you want to subscribe to my channel and things like that. Please don't take offense if most of my videos, when you click on them, it won't be, hey y'all. I said it today on purpose because I've never said it. But please don't take offense if I'm like not on the space of, hey everybody, how you doing, and welcome into my channel, da da da. Like, I'm just not scripted like that. I'm a perfectionist in a different way. But again, like I said, I'm a writer. I am a future published author, and the books that you may purchase from me or anyone else, when the first page, when whatever the topic, if it's a short story or if it's a collection of novellas, you are not going to turn the page to, hey everybody, how you doing? So I hope that works for you all. Again, I am here to extend what I believe God has called me to say, what I believe God has called me to expound on, what I believe God has called me to make plain, clear, and really, really at face value. And that's why the channel is named what it is. I like to say, because I'm country and I'm from the South, I call it prima facie. There are different versions of how people pronounce that phrase. But it is what the phrase means. It is a typically a legal term, but it is at what is at face value, taking something at face value, or taking something as it is. In the more legal spectrum, it's accepting something as true until it's proven untrue. And so that is who I've always been. I've always been the type of person I shoot from the hip. I'm not gonna open my mouth and say something that I don't know is correct. So a lot of times you will have a hard time proving me wrong. And even on top of that, the higher power in that is how I believe God's word is. Like, God's word is God's word. It is what it is. You can try to prove it all day, but you can try to prove it wrong all day. Let me correct myself. You can try to prove it wrong. You can try to, use evidence-based cases that is not true, but you really can't. It's impossible. And so that was, a jolt or a bolt that I got from God when I was trying to decide on the name of the channel. I was like, should I just name it after me? Like, Crystal talk a lot, because I talk a lot. I'm being, I was joking. I was like, Lord, I don't know. And that's what I heard. And I said, oh, that's perfect. So, yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that I brought that to everybody's attention who may, because I know everybody has their own perception and their own opinions of how people should do things. But I wanted to be, cordial and explain, since I am, just starting out, just building what I'm doing. So I hope that that was a good dose of a little bit of me, learning a little bit of me, learning a little bit of what my calling is for, why I'm here. Of course, I'm not going to sit and do an entire, 60-minute interview episode of who I am and why I'm here. I will give it in, in bits and pieces when I feel God is advising me to reveal certain things. I'm straight God based. I'm not, I don't have a desire to get on here and just talking. I used to march in the HBCU band, and if you're familiar with historically black colleges and universities and the band, there was this spirit song that most bands played, and it was called "Talking Out the Side of Your Neck." So that ain't why I'm here, but I did want to just kind of do a semi intro, a little bit of revealing of this is it's a new channel. So again, I hope you all are all well. Thank you for those who have subscribed, and if I'm someone, or if my topics are things that you can relate to, or you feel that you're being pulled to, I would say subscribe. More coming soon. XOXO. Love, Crystal.